Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're starting very easy with our questions right now. What about you would make you a great mayor?
I think that I look at things from a simple view. And so those are all based upon the things that have founded this country. And, you know, I think maybe many people might expect me to come up with some type of, you know, genius solutions or something that's super complex, but I don't think that's the prescription here. I think that offering a platform where the people that are working hard and are studying, have creative ideas, and are experts in their field, professionals, people that want to be educated in their field and contribute and have a voice to their community can have an equal platform to do that. So my position is to be able to allow those people to shape their community, and with the minimum amount of you know, strife or, you know, all the stuff that's going on.
Now, a hot topic across Myrtle Beach has been local small business owners. They're struggling right now. How would you go about helping them supporting those small business owners?
If local small businesses, I've owned quite a few small businesses in the past, and if local small businesses are suffering, my opinion, right, which does not have anything to do with being a mayor, a lot of times people want to see a refreshing of, if you do a business and it works, you just keep doing the same thing. But after a while, you know, people, just like when you redecorate your house or something like that, people are going to kind of like want to start to see something fresh and new. So you always got to go out there and search, and it doesn't have to be a dramatic change. It can be a refreshing of your own particular niche that you're in. But, you know, from what I hear around and, you know, what I kind of think as an opinion, it would just, you know, just refresh stuff, you know, bring it up to date, you know. You can still have your historical landmarks, but, you know, tighten them up a little bit, that's all, and kind of try to stay up with, you know, the modern things that are going on without letting the historical part disappear.
Another huge concern among residents has been crime, especially in the downtown area. What do you think the biggest issue is leading to this crime, and how would you want to go about starting to fix it?
I think that question has been answered over the past 5 or 6 years. And right now, I think that maintenance of what we have now, maintaining a good police force, making sure that the integrity is there, making sure that, you know, a lot of the guys, I guess, are now seasoned somewhat after having been, you know, when you first get out, they teach you stuff, and, you know, and they're telling you all this stuff, you know, and when you first get out, you might end up having too much energy and become part of the problem because you'll compound it and it'll start to go haywire. But then once you kind of get seasoned in a little bit, you're like, all right, well, I know the things I don't have to pay attention to. And so over the past 5 or 6 years, I am out there every single day, every day, not a day, 7 days a week. And I have seen the place get better. I've seen the people that come to visit change. They're less, you know, sketched out when they're walking around. They're more able to relax, which is, if Myrtle Beach is going to be a tourist area, then people are now coming here and they seem to be pretty relaxed. You know, just like what everybody else is saying, there is bouts of crime everywhere. You show me a place in the world where there ain't something going on, you know, that we have to watch out for and, you know, take care of in the right kind of way, then, you know, I'll be quiet. But, you know, there's going to be a little bit of something everywhere. I think what would mitigate that, it's just like I wouldn't say people are animals, but if you leave a dog in the house and you don't give it anything to do, it becomes destructive. So if we engage people, and I'm the same way, if you don't leave me in the house, you know, by myself, you know, with nothing to do, because I'm gonna start, you know, finding stuff to do, right? So give people something to do that's positive or engaging for them and in line with, you know, the community.
Gotcha. Now, there have been multiple meetings between local media and city government, and the issue is transparency. You know, how do we communicate between our local media and our city governments? What is your philosophy, your thoughts on transparency between city government and local media?
So you said it's between city government and local media, the communication between them?
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, the platforms are there. You have, if you're talking about situational awareness, they have this website called P2C in Myrtle Beach. I'm not sure that it's manned that well because the reports are often incomplete when I try to use it. The city website, put somebody on there to, that's going to continuously keep fresh, up-to-date, complete information. And then if the media wants to get in on it, I don't understand about freedom of the press, but I think you can just go in there and start asking people, about the issues. I wouldn't say have, what do they call that? A public affairs official that keeps the public well informed, not like, someone that's just a hollow front. You come out there and you say, hey, this is what we got going on, this is what we're working on, and be honest about it. So just, yeah.
Now, a big conversation at some of the debates has been, I'm not sure if you're aware of that traffic shoot issue when it comes to businesses on Ocean Boulevard, where those roads are being blocked off, businesses really aren't getting the attraction that they want, and it's also a traffic hassle during big events. What do you think about that issue, and do you have any ideas of how to fix it or what to change?
I've looked at a map of that area too many hours in a row, and with the amount of visitors that you have, some of the reasons, I don't know whether I don't have a position on whether to support blocking off that or not supporting it. I know it's a big inconvenience for people, but if you don't, you have the boulevard gets gridlocked. When the boulevard gets gridlocked, guess who comes out and starts playing with the public? Crime, right? And then you can't chase them because you're not allowed to code 6 them because of potentially hitting another person, so it becomes a safety issue, and then crime starts to know about it, and they'll play off the police and everything else like that. So the only thing that you really can do is just cause breaks in the boulevard, unless they come up with some building plan or engineering plan. I don't know if everybody's opening to widen up lanes or add parking lots that are off the boulevard and have people walk in. But adding parking, I don't think would be a bad thing, even though there's already a lot. But we have a large influx of people that come in during the summer. So, vertical parking, more vertical parking instead of just flat spaces. And you park, you get out, you walk around the boulevard. But the traffic going through, you got to kind of keep it open because of public safety.
Right. Now we were touching on tourism. Some would say there is a love-hate relationship between residents, the people that live here, and tourism, visitors coming in. How would you go about balancing the needs of the people living here, quality of life, along with continuing to grow tourism?
Oh, well, I'm not sure if there's a love-hate relationship. If the city's identity is tourism, then just be that. There's nothing wrong with that. Somebody's going to come and say, oh, you guys are nothing but a tourist city. I'm like, well, yeah, that's our identity, right? That's what we do. When people, that's what we chose to do as a business and make a living. So if residents can get more engaged, that'd be good. If residents are given a platform to become more engaged, if they don't, I guess the hate side would feel like you're being shut out or feel like you're not getting the money off of the place that you live or something like that. Well, you got to get in there and do that. So maybe some like micro venues, so that the people that did have creative ideas would have a place to go into the hot spot and show what they got. There's what's that field that the pavilion used to be on right there? It's not used a lot of times except for large venues. Maybe organize something where the little micro venues can go in and people can share what they have from the community, and then they get an opportunity to be part of the tourist trade. They fill in smaller gaps. You have when you stack stones, you stack the large ones and you put the smaller ones in, and then you put the smaller ones in, right? So get in where you fit in. It's all I could say is, and do the best you can.
Do you think, in your opinion, Myrtle Beach has an image problem? If so, what would you say to someone that agrees that Myrtle Beach has an image problem?
I don't know that Myrtle Beach itself has an image problem. I know that if you go on like social media and stuff like that, there's a lot of people from the outside for various reasons. Maybe they're a competing tourist destination. and they'll go on there and be like, we hate that place, their food is terrible, right? But that's not necessarily how people feel when they're coming out as residents and business owners of Myrtle Beach to present their goods and services to the people that come here to enjoy it. So the hate, a lot of it could be an illusion for a different reason. Do I have my own issues? Yeah, I have some, but those are my opinions, right? So as mayor, I wouldn't really put my own opinions out there unless I was asked, and then it would just come as advice or my opinion, which is the same as everybody else's.
Switching gears a little bit here. So cities like Conway and North Myrtle Beach have used the power of annexation to grow their tax base along with their population. Do you think that's a path that the city of Myrtle Beach should be taking? Why or why not?
I don't even understand what you just said. I'm being honest with you.
That's okay.
If you could simplify, so what's annexation?
So for example, we'll have areas in the city of Myrtle Beach that are actually Horry County. And instead of having them being controlled by Horry County, the city could take over that land, that area, to be able to receive those tax benefits, essentially. So when we have someone referred to as donut holes across the city of Myrtle Beach where Horry County might be in charge, should we annex those, take over those locations so we're benefiting from those tax bases?
I mean, if Myrtle Beach wants to be an entire Myrtle Beach, then Myrtle Beach has to be all Myrtle Beach, but at the same time, someone has to be competent to fill those voids. Yeah, I would definitely support Myrtle Beach being in control of itself, 100%. And I mean, as soon as we're trying to build a foundation here, and as soon as that happens, then it's time. But until then, we have to, like I said, public safety is number one. So, yeah.
If you were elected to mayor, would you move to start changing some key positions, city manager, zoning administrator, police chief, things like that? Would you be looking to make changes in those areas? The
first thing I would do, just like when I build or anything else like that, or I work on somebody's tour bus or something like that, I'll take an assessment, and it'll be an honest, thorough assessment. We're gonna go through there, just like I get gone through. My lieutenant will come up to me and ask me questions, and I should know the answers to them. So we'll go through there and make an assessment, write down the assessment, look at our pool of people that have been wanting to be in those positions, and do some comparing and figure out who would be the best to be there so that the city can be as healthy as it can. Yep.
I promise we're winding down
here. You're good.
Going to our youth, Myrtle Beach youth. There's a lot of youth here, and some are looking for local opportunities, but they aren't having any luck. How would you go about kind of increasing the opportunity for youth, so instead of leaving and going somewhere else, maybe they stay here, build a family, build a life for themselves?
The first thing I would do is diversify education and make education more accessible. If you have diverse education, like say somebody wants to, it shouldn't be about the money first, but if a kid wants to, this would be like an extra credit education thing, right? The first thing you focus on is basic, right? There's a lot of people in Myrtle Beach that need a basic education, that need a high school diploma or a GED, that can't get one. Maybe they got kicked out of school, or maybe they're just having some motivation issues, because those are low-key boring subjects. But you have to learn them. You got to have the basics down. But then after that, you put this whole spread of alternative education out that they can say, hey, I like doing this, and there's a place for them to go to start off where they're at and then further develop themselves into what they want to be.
Do you think the city needs to go a different direction when it comes to the development of the Arts and Innovation District?
I got asked questions about that, and I'm not a person that can make an adequate assessment of the arts. It's a good idea. There's a place in Virginia that you walk into, and it is a creation lab. I mean, they have CNC machines, and you pay a membership fee, and it's once a month. It's not that much. It's like $55, but you have access to literally every type of mechanical arts and crafts you want to do. You can build robots, you can do whatever you want, and you can store your project when you're done and leave. So something like that that's arts and innovation, combined. So when I hear that, that's kind of what I think about, and I haven't seen too much. They're working on it. I see some work going on. Is all I can say about it.
Definitely. There have been some criticisms about the relationship between Chamber of Commerce and city government leaders, kind of how they work together. Do you think that's something that needs to change? Should that relationship remain when it comes to those two entities?
I don't have an opinion, but when I hear something like that, when you ask me that there's a problem here, my first move, just like if they say there's a problem with something I'm working on, right, is to go in and take a diagnostic report, and a complete, honest diagnostic report to find out what the problem is and how to solve it. And I bring other people into that are more well educated, but I do know the diagnostic process. That's what I would use.
And last question here, what do you believe is the city's biggest failure right now, and how do we correct course?
I don't know that I would say it's a failure, but when I hear people speak, I hear them speaking fearfully, and then I hear them speaking 100% about money, right? And I don't have anything to say for or against that. I will stay neutral on the subject. But if everybody's saying we need more police, and then we also are arguing over money, it leaves out everything else in life. And it also doesn't generate, if somebody's scared, or if they see that you're scared, they're not going to want to come here because you're going to get them scared. So you have to get in the state that you want people to be in, that are going to come here and enjoy yourself and live life and be a community that works together and everything. And I'm telling you, if you do that, other people are going to see it, and they're going to be like, man, we want to go down there and find out what they're doing down there. They're going to be attracted to it, right? And I think that would be a lot of it. We're starting off at very basics here. I'm not doing anything complicated.
Thank you so much for giving us some of your time today. We really do appreciate it.